Good evening and welcome to our continuing coverage here on Times Now. Dharmendra Pradhan, the Union Education Minister, has stepped down under massive pressure and unrelenting protests by the students, not just at Jantar Mantar in Delhi, but across multiple cities and multiple states. The students at Jantar Mantar had been on a sit-in protest for the better part of the last month. And finally, today, at about 2:30 o'clock in the afternoon, the Union Education Minister, Dharmendra Pradhan, put out his official resignation letter, the letter that he has addressed to the Prime Minister. He put it out on his X handle. He shared the news on social media. He addressed through that letter the youth of the country and said that he didn't want to become a sticking point in further continuing these protests and this agitation, and of course the big fear of violence which we have seen take place over the last few days. He has said in that letter, in his resignation letter, that he's undertaking moral responsibility and he's quitting so that anti-national powers do not gain from these adverse circumstances. So Dharmendra Pradhan has exited. Also, the third round of meetings between the Cockroach Janata Party delegates, Saurav Das and Ashutosh Ranka, is currently going on with central government ministers, that is Mr. JP Nadda, the Union Health Minister, and the MOSPMO, Dr. Jitendra Singh. That is happening at the Constitutional Club right now, even as we speak. Let's go to that breaking story, because here is where the government is hoping that finally the CJP tells the protesting students that now that your fundamental demand, your sticking point, which was Mr. Pradhan's resignation, has finally come through, the government will be hoping that the CJP can put pressure on the protesting students and get them to call off the protest and go home. Also, politically speaking, this is a big leg up, no doubt, for the Congress party and for Leader of the Opposition, Rahul Gandhi. He had been at the forefront of raising student issues, the exam paper leaks and Gen Z issues, even before the Cockroach Janata Party got formed and even before the Jantar Mantar sit-in protests happened. Today, Rahul Gandhi reacted right after the news broke of Dharmendra Pradhan resigning. He is digging his heels in, saying that this is just one demand that has been met. Two more demands need to be met, which is that the police officers and the police officials who fired at pellet guns as well as other tear gas and other weaponry against the students, they need to be held to account. And also, he says that the Prime Minister needs to apologize to these students. So he's sticking to his guns, sticking to those demands. Let's listen in to what the Leader of the Opposition had to say.
Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation is a huge step in rebuilding our education system. It's a symbolic step because he was a symbol, but it is still a big step. And I want to congratulate every single student, every single youngster who came out on the streets and fought for democracy, fought for the future of this country, and defended the Constitution. I'm proud of you. Well done. There is wisdom and courage in standing up. Daro mat. Let's get rid of this regime that is attacking India, destroying our Constitution, capturing all our institutions.
All right, I want to go across to our reporter. Shefali is joining us from the Constitution Club, where these conversations are happening between government representatives and, of course, the members of the CJP. Kritika is joining us from outside Rahul Gandhi's residence. Niyamika has with her Mr. Kapil Sibal. Let's go across to Niyamika first. Niyamika, what does Mr. Sibal have to say about the students and what is seemingly a victory for the students?
Well, yes, Zaka, we have been joined by the former Union Education Minister and the senior advocate, Mr. Kapil Sibal himself. He was also been demanding from a very long time for the resignation of Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan. Let us take this question from him, sir. How do you see this move coming in? Were you expecting that this resignation will be given by Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan after this protest?
No, the question is that it is not a question of my expectation. It is the realization of this government and of the Prime Minister of India that the entire government structure would be in jeopardy if Dharmendra Pradhan doesn't rise. So it's an act of self-preservation. It is not a voluntary resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan. जब उनका लगा कि उनके खुद का ढांचा खतरे में है, तो अच्छा है कि प्रधान जी चले जाएं. So really, it is a realization that unless Pradhan resigns, this movement will take a form which will challenge the entire structure of this government, and its longevity. That's why he's resigned.
But sir, do you believe that resignation is enough? Because we have seen that how the statements have been given by various BJP leaders, including Mr. Nitin Abin. He's praising Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, saying that he has played a very important role in bringing reforms in the education system.
You see, I am not concerned as to what reforms, because we have seen the very reason why people are sitting in this unshan and this fast is because of Dharmendra Pradhan and the state of the education sector in this country. I'd like to know what reforms he's brought in. 2014 onwards, what have the reforms they've brought in? They have a national education policy now, right? They have this policy, NEP. Now, what has happened on the ground? There are still one teacher to 90 students. There are still local boards who cannot get their children into professions. There are still people who are unemployed because they can't get jobs, right? So what is the skill development that has taken place? We are not aligning ourselves to the nature of the modern global economy. In fact, it's been an utter failure. In fact, the education sector and the health sector has been utter failures. So he can't take credit for anything. And of course, what do you expect the BJP to say? They will have to praise him. After all, on the one hand, they have forced him to resign. On the other hand, they can't criticize him. So that's bad politics, that's all.
So, and what about the actions which have been taken by the RAF personnel and as well as the Delhi police when these youth were there on the streets holding this protest? There was lathi charge which was being done. Tear gas shells were being used against all of these protesters. What is the demand from of yours from the government?
This is just the beginning. The fact that Dharmendra Pradhan has resigned will not change the nature of education in this country. Another Dharmendra Pradhan will come. Right? So what we need to do is, what is it that the government is going to do in the education sector? Right. So Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation is symbolic. Okay. We want change. The youth of this country wants change. And I can assure you that the youth of this country has the resolve to bring about change. This is just the first step. And as far as the injuries to those youth are concerned who are lying in hospital, who is responsible for that? That's not Dharmendra Pradhan. It's directly the Home Minister who is responsible for this. The excesses of the force that was used against unarmed boys and girls, and the manner in which girls were treated, the injuries, the pellets in their eyes, 3 of them, on their back, on their face. Who is responsible for that? The Home Minister. Therefore, first of all, after this resignation, the Home Minister must apologize to the youth of this country, to the people of this country, and must make sure that those who are responsible for the excess use of force are also prosecuted under fast-track courts. And I expect the Prime Minister, just he has set up fast-track courts for the leaks in the NEET exam, he must set up these fast-track courts for the police personnel who injured our young unarmed youths. And unless that happens, nothing will change. And I think this Cockroach Janata Party is just not an idea. It's a reality. And the youth are going to take up national causes. And I hope that the youth of this country unites under them to raise issues away from political parties so that it can become a national movement.
We'll thank Mr. Kapil Sibal as well as Niyamika for that. I also want to quickly go across to Kritika and to Harish. Harish is joining us from outside Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan's residence. Have you got any information on who's inside, who is he meeting? What's the mood like there? Of course, it's been a couple of hours now since the resignation letter was made public. What's the latest, Harish?
Yes, Zaka. In fact, I'm outside the residence of Dharmendra Pradhan. Till now, it continues to be barricaded. My camera person, Balkishan, will pan the camera and show the situation here. But even despite the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan, the CJP has refused to withdraw its protest at Jantar Mantar following the saying that 2 of the primary demands remain unfulfilled. That is compensation for those who have committed suicide, and also regarding action against the police officials who had lathi charged the students and also tear gas the students, and several students have got injured, and in fact they are saying that till these demands are met, they won't withdraw the protest. Several cars are going inside the barricade, in between the barricades are being opened, but we still have not got a word from Dharmendra Pradhan. Media is not being allowed inside. We tried several times to go inside, but the policemen are stopping the media persons from getting inside the residence. Heavy barricading since 25 days, ever since the CJP protest had begun, and Sonam Wangchuk had started his fast.
Okay.
Now,
let me also go across to Kritika, who's joining us from outside Rahul Gandhi's residence. He's also put out a video message a few moments ago where he has said that this does not end the protests. This is just a symbolic move of Mr. Pradhan's resignation. What more does Rahul Gandhi want? Because there seems to be an indication now from his video statement at least that Parliament may not function and that we may not get a debate on that critical amendment to strengthen the anti-paper leak law from 2024.
Well, yes, Saka, we can expect another washout session on a Monday because what Rahul Gandhi has stated is that the symbol is gone, but the system remains. Now, by that he means is that, of course, he's demanding an apology from the Prime Minister as well. And this is a key demand because it does not feature in the list of demands that has been put out by the Cockroach Janata Party. While they speak of putting to task or to bringing accountability on part of the police officials who they're accusing of brutality against students, and of the 1 crore compensation for the need suicide affected families. Apology from the PM is not necessarily something that the Cockroach Janata Party at large is that it has asked from the Prime Minister. The representatives from the CJP are also meeting with the centre currently, and even if there is an acceptance on the compensation demand, we will still see this Congress demand for an apology from the end of the Prime Minister still remain an offshoot from the protest, and that could still continue to in fact be a stalemate and end up the session to be in a further washout as well. As far as the government is concerned, even though Mr. Pradhan has not spoken or given any media bites, there is a lot of support still from part of his cabinet, from the different chief ministers also, who are hailing him or who are hailing in fact the educational reform that have been brought under him. Over to you.
All right, we'll thank our reporters. I also want to open this up to our guest now, Ratan Sharda, author, Imran Ahmed Ali, lawyer and political analyst, IP Singh, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, JVC Sriram, election analyst, is also joining us. Ratan Sharda, let me start with you first. People like you have been arguing that, you know, the anger of the students needs to be assuaged, the government must respond to it, but finally it boiled down to that one point, that one point deadlock, which was Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation. Now it's come, but neither the CJP nor the Congress seem to be willing to relent. In fact, it seems like they are now pushing for more.
Well, Zaka, first of all, I would say it's too late, too little. I would say that's like, a hot dish served, not just warm, but cold. So the impact of resignation will be felt in a very low manner. Secondly, it was needed in the earlier stages and he could have just come out boldly when this thing happened rather than resign. Even that was not required, had been very proactive and come on stage saying that how is going to correct all this. Now I think once he has resigned, so many education ministers in the state level where there are leakages happening about, even now there are 3-4 states where leakages happened, they should also resign. If resignation is the solution, then where is the system? Now, from beginning we have been saying it is no more a question of student education, it is more of a regime change. Rahul Gandhi has proved it. So nothing is going to satisfy him. Now he says, let us change the regime. Because their guru Yogendra have already said that the democracy doesn't mean anything. संसद का मार्ग से नहीं अब ये सड़कों पे decide होगा. ये कहने वाले anarchic, when they come on road and they decide all this, then whether this will serve any purpose, that is a very strong question, because Dipke has said ये पहला शिखार था और भी है. So positive education reform, I doubt very much, because I would be happy. Now, I think they will lose steam because students will start going back.
Yeah.
If they try to raise their stakes, the students will object and they will lose that overplaying hand also. So it's not a very easy situation. I would wait till Monday, as a reporter very rightly guessed, that they will not allow it to function even anyway, because the real fear is FCRA.
Okay.
The real
You know,
fear is
the government's
limitation.
fear was also that this would be a domino effect. Other ministers will be asked to step down, etc. But let me get a quick word in from Shefali as well. She's at the Constitution Club, where the meeting has been going on for a couple of hours now. Shefali, what is the latest? Before coming there, Saurav Das and Ashutosh Ranka had said that the other two demands, compensation for the NEET suicide victims' families and the removal of FIRs against all the students, they have to get some kind of assurance from the government. What are you hearing? Is the government willing to give that kind of an assurance?
Right, Zakar. Currently, the meeting is still underway, where all the representatives from both sides, be it Mr. JP Nadda or Jitendra Singh, are there in the meeting. And while if we talk about CJP representative as well, Ashutosh Ranka and Saurabh Das are also there, where meeting is still underway, where we are also understanding a press conference to take place shortly once the meeting is over, where you can see, although security deployment is still here, but all the media has gone to cover the press conference, which you will see in next some time, where we are expecting it will be a joint press conference, although there is no formal communication of who all will be addressing this press conference and what all has discussed. But what it seems like, as there are 4 chairs, seater row, it seems like both representative from center and CJP are going to be present, where they'll be addressing media on the dialogue that has happened in today's meeting. While again, let me reiterate, there is no formal confirmation of this, if only CJP representative will address the media or it will be just center. But it does seem like that it looks like a joint press conference, where what were the talking points in the meeting which is currently underway will be shared with the media, where we are also expecting that center will ask them to request the protesters at Jantar Mantar to now vacate that place, where now to end this protest, where one of their demands have already been met, and two, we know that the discussions are going on in the parliament. On Monday also discussion will take place, where opposition will also participate. So how all of this is going to pan out, and what Mr. Abhijit Dipke is now saying at the protest side from the stage, is something to be seen.
Okay, let's see what he says. So far they're saying that they're digging their heels in. They need more than just the resignation of Mr. Pradhan. But the critical thing is what the people, the protesting students, the people who had come there in solidarity, will they start leaving? We're beginning to see that people are dispersing quietly. We're also getting more breaking news. Rahul Gandhi is going to do a press conference, I believe, at 6 p.m. We've just seen that video statement from Rahul Gandhi. So Rahul Gandhi is going to do a big press conference at 6 p.m., I believe, at the Congress Party office. Of course, politically, this suits the Congress Party. Mr. Gandhi had been at the sort of forefront, if you will, of not just these protests, but issues in the education sector, issues related to Gen Z and the students, etc., even much before the CJP was formed to try and highlight these issues. So he will, of course, be addressing that press conference at 6 o'clock in about 45 minutes from now. But let me open this up to our other guest. Imran Ahmed Ali is also joining us, IP Singh, as well as JVC Sriram. Imran Ahmed Ali, you know, this is the biggest political win that anybody has had in the Modi government or against the Modi government in the last 12 years. This is the first time a sitting minister has resigned because of overwhelming public pressure. Shouldn't the students, the Congress, the other opposition take this as a win and go back home?
It's a very interesting question, because if you consider it a win, it absolutely is. If you go over to visuals at the Jantar Mantar and the way the Indian flag and songs of patriotism are being sung and played, it is absolutely a win for each one of us. However, today, we, the people of India, have proven that no one is above accountability. History shall always remember those who listen and those who are made to listen. In this particular instance, it took the government 81 days from the paper leak. It took Sonam Wangchuk 26 days of a hunger strike. It took 49 days for the CJP to come here. So is it a win? It absolutely is. And the youth of the country is spoken. The next time the toxic air quality index in a city goes below a threshold that is unacceptable, let the environmental minister be warned that this is not what the youth will expect of you. The next time there's a paper leak, and I hope there are none, because this one did not come without cost. The cost was 20 lives of students, and yes, the compensation to their families should be of utmost importance to the government and to each one of us. Let us talk about monumental failures in the past with respect to terrorist activity in our country. Let the Home Minister and the Defense Minister be forewarned that India will not take another terrorist attack on our soil.
Let me, you see, this is exactly what the government was also arguing, that once, you know, there's a domino effect. Once one minister steps down, tomorrow somebody will come and protest and say, Gadkari should be sacked for the E20 and ethanol and so on. Somebody else will come and say, Mr. Puri must be sacked. Already Rahul Gandhi is saying, you know, the police excesses against the students was done under orders from Amit Shah. Where does this stop, JVC Sriram? The government's fear was this, and now the opposition and the CJP seem to be shifting the goalposts.
Panelists, I think it's a very important question that you're asking, but I think, you know, I echo with Mr. what Ratan Shah has been saying. The agenda could be the need, but the reason behind it is the regime change. This is not like, say, either we have seen either from the farmers' protest, or for that matter the Agniveer controversy, or for that matter when we saw the CAA demonstration, and now we are seeing the need. All these are the issues which you look at the top. But why are the operators picking up on these? The operators are picking up on these things because fundamentally, India, the biggest lobbies which are being controlled by the, whatever you say, deep state or whatever you say, India has hurt three biggest lobbies. One, the weapon and the defense, because Rafale deal was signed without middlemen. Number two, including Rahul Gandhi, you remember during the COVID time, they said, you have to buy Pfizer, you have to buy Pfizer, you have to buy Pfizer. And Modi ji and his government said, no way, I'm going to produce indigenous vaccines and I will choose my method. Now the pharma lobby was hurt. Now E20, ethanol, again, dependence on crude towards the, by exporting, he wants to reduce. So at the end of the day, now you have got FCRA. That is really hurting. So if Rahul Gandhi is telling today, yesterday and day before yesterday, he said Dharmendra Pradhan should resign. Okay, Dharmendra Pradhan has resigned. Now, the place where you got to discuss, you got to debate, you got to have your discourses is the Lok Sabha. And he is now still continuing to say that we are not going to allow it to function.
Okay, let me ask IP Singh that. IP Singh ji, आप तो पहले ये बता रहे थे कि धर्मेंद्र प्रधान का जो इस्तीफा है वो नॉन नेगोशिएबल है. अब तो इस्तीफा दे दिए, तो सदन को चलाने दीजिए आप, डिबेट होना चाहिए. ये क्या बात हुई कि मतलब इसके बाद रेजिम चेंज की बात कर रहे हैं राहुल गांधी, उसके बाद आप कहेंगे कि गडकरी की इस्तीफा चाहिए या किसी और मंत्री की इस्तीफा चाहिए. मुद्दा तो यही था ना कि प्रधान की इस्तीफा चाहिए था, आपको मिल गया इस्तीफा, अब आगे बढ़िए.
देखिए, धर्मेंद्र प्रधान का इस्तीफा हुआ है, अब प्रधान सेवक का इस्तीफा देश चाहता है, छात्र चाहते हैं, युवा चाहता है, और हमें अपने बच्चों पर, छात्रों पर, युवाओं पर हमें गर्व है कि उन्होंने जो लड़ाई लड़ी, 20 से ज्यादा हमारे बच्चे शहीद हो गए, जान दे दिया, हजारों बच्चे लहूलुहान हुए दिल्ली में, उनके ऊपर पेलेट्स गन से लेकर किल लगी हुई लाठी नुमा डंडों से उन्हें पीटा गया, हमारी बेटियों को पीटा गया, उनके प्राइवेट पार्ट्स पर पुलिस जिस तरह से चार्ज कर रही थी, एक पिता के नाते हम कितने आहत हैं आप सोच नहीं सकते. मेरे बच्चे तक जंतर मंतर पर गए. सवाल ये है कि ये सिस्टम शुड बी चेंज. ये मामला सिंबॉलिक है धर्मेंद्र प्रधान का. क्या कल कोई दूसरा शिक्षा मंत्री स्मृति ईरानी 9वीं पास महिला को देश की शिक्षा मंत्री प्रधानमंत्री ने बना दिया, उनकी डिग्री का एक्सपोज हो गई. आप बताइए धर्मेंद्र प्रधान
IP सिंह साहब एक सेकंड, वो लाइव विजुअल्स आ रहे हैं. लेट्स गो टू द लाइव पिक्चर्स. मिस्टर नड्डा, मिस्टर डॉक्टर सिंह, जितेंद्र सिंह and the two CJP representatives, Saurav Das and Ashutosh Ranka, are having a joint press conference. Let's listen in to what they have to say. I think they've arrived at some kind of a unanimity, some kind of a conclusion. Let's go across to that press conference.
सारे माइक कैच नहीं करेंगे कर लेंगे
पिछले कुछ दिनों में 3 राउंड डिस्कशन सरकार की डेलीगेशन के साथ हमारे हुए हैं। 37 दिनों से जो हमारा जंतर मंतर पर प्रदर्शन चल रहा था, उस प्रदर्शन की 3 मुख्य मांगे थी। धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी का इस्तीफा, जो भी लीगल केसेस प्रोटेस्टर्स पे, ऑर्गेनाइजर्स पे फाइल किए गए हैं, उन FIRs को, उन केसेस को विड्रॉ किया जाए और कोई भी फ्यूचर केसेस प्रोटेस्टर्स या ऑर्गेनाइजर्स के साथ के अगेंस्ट ना लिए जाए। और तीसरी डिमांड हमारी थी 1 करोड़ का कॉम्पनसेशन उन परिवारों के लिए जिन्होंने नीट का पेपर लीक होने के बाद अपनों को खो दिया। आज अभी कुछ देर पहले धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी ने इस्तीफा दे दिया है, जिसका मतलब हमारी पहली मांग, जो इस पूरी प्रोटेस्ट की पहले दिन से मांग थी, 6 जून को जब हम पहली बार जंतर मंतर आए थे, तो धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी ने इस्तीफा दे दिया है, जिसका मतलब है कि हमारी पहली मांग जो है मान ली गई है।
साथ साथ जो हम लोगों की दूसरी मांग थी कि सारे FIRs जो सारे प्रोटेस्टर्स के खिलाफ फाइल किए गए हैं अभी तक, सिर्फ दिल्ली में नहीं लेकिन सारे बीजेपी रूल्ड और बीजेपी एलाइड स्टेट्स में, वो FIRs विड्रॉ हो जाए, ये भी हमारी सेकंड मांग थी। सरकार ने वो मांग को भी मान लिया है। साथ साथ ये जो विड्रॉल है वो शॉर्टली हो जाएगा। जो FIRs फाइल हो चुके हैं, जितना हमें लास्ट इंफॉर्मेशन के मुताबिक 15 से 20 FIRs दिल्ली में फाइल हुए हैं, वो सारे FIRs की कॉपी सरकार ने अश्योर किया है कि शॉर्टली हमारे साथ शेयर करेंगे। एंड जो कॉपीज है वो 3 से 4 दिन के अंदर इन एनी केस हमें मिल जाएगी। जो विड्रॉल है वो भी शॉर्टली सरकार ने अश्योर किया है कि विड्रॉ हो जाएंगे। साथ साथ इन्होंने ये भी हम लोगों ने एग्री किया है कि फ्यूचर में कोई भी एक्शन नहीं लिया जाएगा किसी भी प्रोटेस्टर के खिलाफ एंड CJP की जो टीम है, जो ऑर्गेनाइजर्स है, उनके खिलाफ। इसी चीज का अंडरस्टैंडिंग में हम लोगों ने सरकार के साथ एक ड्राफ्ट शेयर किया है, जो गारंटी है रिटन में, वो सरकार ने बोला है कि हमारे साथ वो ट्यूसडे तक शेयर करेंगे। हमें आशा है कि ट्यूसडे तक जो गारंटी है सरकार के तरफ से इन राइटिंग ये FIRs के बारे में और इन एनी फ्यूचर एक्शन के बारे में, वो हमें मिल जाएगी।
तो आप लोग फॉलो अप कर रहे हैं जो 1 करोड़ का कॉम्पनसेशन हमने नीट विक्टिम्स की फैमिलीज के लिए मांगा था, उसके लिए सरकार की तरफ से सहमति बन रही है कि जो भी रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस के तहत कॉम्पनसेशन पॉसिबल होगा, एक ऑनररी कॉम्पनसेशन उन फैमिलीज को दिया जाएगा। इसके अलावा हम लोगों ने एक 5 पॉइंट का डिमांड चार्टर भी सरकार के समक्ष रखा था, जिसमें ब्रॉडर एजुकेशनल रिफॉर्म्स, एग्जाम रिफॉर्म्स की बात की गई थी। सरकार से हम लोग लगभग 4 हफ्ते में एक बार फिर से मिलेंगे उस डिमांड चार्टर को लेकर, ताकि हम लोग मिलकर एक ब्रॉडर रिफॉर्म्स पर साथ में काम कर पाए। अगर ये सभी मांगे सरकार को एग्रीएबल है तो देन वी वुड लाइक टू ऑल्सो विड्रॉ। सर, मे बी इफ यू कैन। मित्रों, ये आज हमारे सौरभ दास और रंका जी के साथ तीसरी मुलाकात है और आज भी लंबी बातचीत हुई। ये आज एक रिटन मसौदा लेकर के आए थे जिसमें उन्होंने एजिटेशन में चल रहे केसेस के बारे में 4 पॉइंट्स दिए थे और उसके साथ साथ जो बाकी 2 डिमांड्स थी, रिटेलिएटरी मेजर्स न लिए जाए, कंपनसेशन दिया जाए और इनके 5 पॉइंट चार्टर को कंसिडर किया जाए, उस पर डिटेल में चर्चा हुई। डिटेल में चर्चा होने के पश्चात सबसे पहली बात तो ये है कि जो इनका एक 4 पॉइंट्स था उसका लबो-लबाब ये था कि कोई भी एक्शन FIR न हो और अगर है तो वो विड्रॉ हो, वो चाहे दिल्ली पुलिस के द्वारा हुआ हो, चाहे वो BJP रूल स्टेट्स में कहीं हुआ हो, तो वो FIR की कॉपी भी इनको हम देंगे और उसको विड्रॉ करने की बात कोई भी एक्शन नहीं होगा। इस बात को सरकार ने स्वीकारा है जो प्रोटेस्टर्स के साथ प्रोटेस्ट के दौरान हुआ है। उसी तरीके से फ्यूचर में भी जो ऑर्गेनाइजर्स हैं और प्रोटेस्टर्स हैं उनका इस एक्टिविटी के लिए कोई भी उन पर आगे केस नहीं होगा, इस बात को हम लोगों ने माना है। हमें करेक्ट। दूसरी बात जो कही गई है वो ये है कि कंपनसेशन के बारे में। तो कंपनसेशन के बारे में सरकार ने बड़े स्पष्ट शब्दों में कहा है, हमारी भी सहानुभूति है, जान किसी बच्चे की जाए और उसके प्रति हम भी सहानुभूति रखते हैं और सरकार, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी अत्यंत सहानुभूति के साथ हम सब लोगों ने कहा है कि ऑनरेबल कंपनसेशन अकॉर्डिंग टू द रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस व्हाटएवर मैक्सिमम विल बी पॉसिबल दैट विल बी गिवन टू देम। और उसी तरीके से ये जो 5 पॉइंट चार्टर है जो आपने मुझे परसों दिया, कल दिया था, उस 5 पॉइंट चार्टर पे हमारा कहना ये है जो एजुकेशन के एग्जामिनेशंस के रिफॉर्म्स के से जुड़ा हुआ है, उसके बारे में हमारा ये कहना है कि हम एजुकेशन के एग्जामिनेशन के रिफॉर्म्स के लिए जो आपका चार्टर है उस पर हम गहन चिंतन भी करेंगे और आपके डेलीगेशन के साथ बातचीत करके जो कुछ भी हम डेलिब्रेट कर सकेंगे वो हम करने का प्रयास करेंगे। तो ये इनकी डिमांड्स थी। मेरे ख्याल से इन्होंने जो डिमांड्स रखी थी उन सबको सरकार ने सहानुभूतिपूर्वक माना भी है और एक्सेप्ट भी किया है। मेरा निवेदन है कि आप सबसे कि हमारे जो आंदोलन करने वाले हैं वो अपने एजिटेशन को विड्रॉ करें और पीसफुली हम सब लोग आगे बढ़े, ऐसा मेरा निवेदन है।
On that note, the Cockroach Janata Party declares that we withdraw the agitation in good faith and understanding that the agreed upon terms will be executed within the agreed upon timelines.
With immediate effect. With immediate effect. With immediate effect.
हम तमाम मांगे जो हमारी थी वो मान ली गई है, तो हम इमीडिएट इफेक्ट से प्रोटेस्टर्स से रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि आप विड्रॉ करें, पीसफुली अपने घर वापस जाएं और आगे की जो भी हमारी रणनीति होगी या बातचीत होगी उससे हम आपको अवगत कराएंगे। लेकिन प्रोटेस्टर्स से हम रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि इमीडिएट इफेक्ट से आप विड्रॉ करें, हमारी मांगे जो है वो मान लीजिए।
प्रदर्शनकारी छात्र आप भी मांग मानेंगे क्या आपको लगता है?
चलो हो गया, आप सारी बातें बता दी, हो गया।
Having a big development after the third round of talks between Mr. Nadda, Dr. Singh, Saurav Das and Ashutosh Ranka. The CJP has decided to withdraw their protests with immediate effect. Their demands have been met by the government. The resignation of Mr. Pradhan, the compensation to the NEET victims, and of course, most importantly, the removal of all FIRs that were registered against the students and the protesters and the organizers of the CJP. We have with us Shefali, who's joining us live from Constitution Club. We also have Sabya, who's joining us. So Shefali, this is a huge development. The CJP has said that they are, with immediate effect, withdrawing their protest, withdrawing their agitation, and they're requesting all the protesters and all the students to go back home.
Right, all the demands of CJP have now been met, and you'll see just in no time that ministers and the representative of CJP to leave from here. You can see movement is just here begun, where you'll see in no time minister, and we'll try and speak to the minister as well as they leave. Everyone is waiting, but the key point is that now CJP representatives have said that all the demands have been met, and you can see here just minister coming in, and while yes.
All right, JP Nadda and Dr. Jitendra Singh leaving the Constitution Club, not speaking to the media though. Let's see if Saurav Das and Ashutosh Ranka do. But clearly this is a big win for the CJP. All their three demands have been met, and basis this, with immediate effect, they are now announcing the withdrawal of their protests. So no more protests from the CJP side. They have requested the students and the protesters at Jantar Mantar to withdraw and go back home. Whether or not they will listen to them, we'll have to wait and see. But I suspect that given that these three demands have been met by the government, Shefali, I suspect that the protesters will slowly start withdrawing now.
Right now that the representatives have from the press conference room have clearly stated that all the demands have been met or been discussed about. Now they have requested all the protesters to stop the agitation and leave to their own to their houses, where there's still a lot of chaos happening here, where everyone is expecting representative from CJP to come and to speak to the media as to what all has discussed, where in the press conference as well, everything point by point was discussed on either if we talk about the compensation part or but the question on the protesting students part was that government has said that no action will be taken on any of them, while the 20 FIR that has already been filed.
Shefali, just 1 second. I believe they're still speaking, Das and Ranka. Let's listen into what they're saying. Yeah.
कोई रेवोल्यूशनरी, कोई रैडिकल डिमांड्स नहीं थे. जो बेसिक मिनिमम अकाउंटेबिलिटी होना चाहिए था, उसकी मांग थी. जो फैमिलीज के बच्चे नीट के लीक के वजह से सुसाइड करके मर गए, उनके डिग्निटी के लिए ये आंदोलन था. एंड साथ साथ जो प्रदर्शनकारी थे जिन्होंने इन डिमांड्स को आगे रखा, उनके खिलाफ सरकार या उनकी एजेंसीज कोई एक्शन ना ले, वो डिमांड था. ये तीनों डिमांड बहुत रीजनेबल डिमांड थे, एंड बहुत ज्यादा टाइम लग गया इस चीज को एक्सेप्ट करने में, लेकिन हम खुश हैं कि ये सारे डिमांड्स एक्सेप्ट हुए. एक मिनट, आप बताइए. उसमें कुछ ऐसे असामाजिक तत्व आ गए थे जिनकी वजह से आंदोलन को बदनाम करने की कोशिश की गई थी. देखिए, इस आंदोलन को तो पहले दिन से बदनाम करने की कोशिश की जा रही है. आप सभी लोग देख रहे हैं कि किस तरह से आम लोगों पर भी अलग अलग टैग्स लगाए गए, एंटी नेशनल बोला गया, पाकिस्तानी बोला गया. लेकिन हमें बहुत खुशी है कि देश के युवा ने सच्चाई देखी, इस देश के युवा ने हमारा इंटेंट देखा, और जिस मुद्दे के लिए हम लोग लड़ रहे थे उस मुद्दे से सभी लोग रेजोनेट किया, और बहुत पीसफुली 37 दिन से हम लोग जंतर मंतर पर मौजूद रहे. सब कुछ बहुत पीसफुली हुआ, और हमें बहुत खुशी है कि अब हम लोग जब विड्रॉ करेंगे तो वो भी बहुत पीसफुली होगा. नहीं, देखिए, हम लोगों ने स्टार्टिंग से जो भी कॉकरोच जनता पार्टी के सपोर्टर्स हैं, बहुत ही पीसफुल पढ़े लिखे सपोर्टर्स हैं, बहुत ही समझदारी से उन्होंने अपने आप को कंडक्ट किया. ये बात आपकी सही है कि कुछ एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट्स स्टेज के पिछले लास्ट के कुछ 3-4 दिनों में घुसे हैं, जिन्होंने वहां पर माहौल खराब करने की कोशिश की. लेकिन तमाम दिक्कतों के बावजूद
ना सिर्फ एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट्स बल्कि तमाम जो दिक्कतें हमने पिछले 37 दिनों में फेस की है, उन सब के बावजूद हम लोग वहां पर डटे रहे, हमारे युवा वहां पर डटे रहे और आज फाइनली 37 दिन बाद हमारी मांगे मान ली गई।
इसी में एक चीज मैं ऐड करना चाहूंगा, जिन्होंने भी ऐसा एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट्स ने मीडिया के खिलाफ, लोगों के खिलाफ जिन्होंने भड़काया, जिन्होंने ये वायलेंस किया, ऐसे लोग सीजेपी के सपोर्टर नहीं है। ये एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट्स घुसाए गए, हम लोग ऐसे एक्शंस के लिए हम लोग उनको खंडन करते हैं। लेकिन आपके माध्यम से ये मैं जरूर कहना चाहता हूं, रिपोर्टर्स नहीं लेकिन जो मीडिया के ओनर्स हैं एंड जो एंकर्स हैं और जो एडिटर इन चीफ्स हैं, उनको मिलके एक डिस्कशन करना चाहिए कि युवाओं के अंदर उनके खिलाफ इतना आक्रोश क्यों है। क्योंकि आप ये जरूर समझ लीजिए, जिस तरीके का प्रोपेगेंडा चलाते हैं कुछ चैनल्स, उससे लोग खुश नहीं है। एक ना एक दिन ऐसा आएगा जब युवा ऐसे ही डिमांड लेके आगे बढ़ेगा एंड उस टाइम पे उनका भी आंसरेबिलिटी बिल्कुल जस्टिफाई नहीं होता है, बिल्कुल जस्टिफाई नहीं होता है। लेकिन उसी पॉइंट पे मैं बोल रहा हूं कि आप जो मीडिया चैनल्स के ओनर्स हैं और एंकर्स हैं, उनको समझना चाहिए कि वो कैसे अपने रिपोर्टर्स को ऐसे रिस्क जोन में भेजते हैं, ऐसे लोगों के अंदर क्यों ऐसे फीलिंग्स है। बिल्कुल नहीं मानना चाहिए। कोई भी वायलेंस का इस मूवमेंट में या कोई दूसरे मूवमेंट में और इस देश में कोई स्पेस नहीं है, ये हम लोग क्लियर कर देना चाहते हैं। सिमरन बताइए।
हम लोगों ने अभी जो भी आज सरकार से अलाइनमेंट हुआ है, क्योंकि अभी तक हमारे पास एफआईआर की कोई भी कॉपी नहीं है, कोई भी एफआईआर की कोई भी कॉपी अभी तक हमें मौजूद प्रोवाइड नहीं कराई गई है। लेकिन जो सरकार से अलाइनमेंट हुआ है कि हमारी प्रोटेस्ट 20 जुलाई का इवेंट और उससे पहले के जितने भी दिन थे और पिछले कुछ दिनों में अगर किसी भी प्रोटेस्ट को लेकर अगर कोई एफआईआर लॉन्च हुई है तो उसको विड्रॉ किया जाएगा, ना सिर्फ दिल्ली पुलिस द्वारा बल्कि पूरे देश भर में अलग अलग जगहों पर भी अगर एफआईआर हुई है तो उन्हें विड्रॉ किया जाए और फ्यूचर में कोई भी ऐसी एफआईआर या कानूनी कार्रवाई प्रोटेस्टर्स या ऑर्गेनाइजर्स पर ना करें।
All right, there you go, Saurav Das and Ashutosh Ranka giving out further details about what assurances the government has made to them. The removal of the FIRs, there are about 15 odd FIRs that the government is assured will be removed against all the CJP organizers and protesters. Also the compensation, whatever is permissible within law, within administrative provisions, they will ensure that the best possible compensation is given to the 20 NEET victims' families. And of course, the principal demand was that Mr. Pradhan resigns. Let me go back to both Shefali and to Sabya, who's joining us. Shefali, so now the CJP has officially withdrawn its protest. They have said that their demands have been met. Now the big question is, will the protesters at Jantar Mantar withdraw and go back home? They've won. Practically in all the terms that they've asked for. All the three demands have been met. Politically, this is a big win for the CJP and for the protesting students. Will they leave?
Right now that both the representative of CJP have announced from Constitution Club to the protesters to stop the agitation and leave Jantar Mantar, it seems like that now they will listen to them, although there was a time where it became a leaderless movement. Everyone agreed to that. Even Mr. Abhijit Dipke also agreed to something like that on 28th July. But now they are saying all the demands have met. So we are expecting the protesters to end their agitation and leave. But in what manner, how and in which phased manner how they leave, if the normalcy will restore in the national capital, particularly in central Delhi, with the internet coming back to is being restored, and how everything will pan out is something to be seen. Right now also next few hours are yet to be very crucial and very uncertain, while everything has been discussed between center and the representative representative of CJP, where all the demands are met. It is still yet to be seen how everything will pan out, where CJP has said that all the demands have met.
Okay,
where
just give me one sec. Sonam Wangchuk is speaking. Let's listen in.
खड़े हुए उन सब का सम्मान करता हूं मैं, और सबसे बड़ी बात कि जिस तरह से उन्होंने शांति बनाए रखा जहां ये प्रदर्शन हो रहे थे, कुछ जगहों पे दुर्भाग्य है कि छुटपुट घटनाएं भी देखी। मुझे उम्मीद है कि इस शांति को हम बनाए रखें और कहीं भी कोई गलत बात नहीं होगी आगे भी। ये जो शक्ति है लोकतंत्र की, वो हमारी शांति से हुई है, ना कि हमारे बाजुओं के बल से। उसके मुकाबले तो आपके बंदूकें हैं, मगर जो शांति की हमने ताकत दिखाए उसके मुकाबले कोई हथियार नहीं है, तो उसे बनाए रखें। अब जब आप महसूस कर रहे हैं कि आपकी जीत हुई, तो विजय में विनम्रता सबसे बड़ी बात है, वही आपके चरित्र को प्रदर्शित करता है, परिभाषित करता है। तो अब जब इस आंदोलन को ज़रूरत पड़े और कुछ आगे लेना हो या फिर अभी रोकना हो, जो भी करें बहुत ही शांति से करें। मैं ये उम्मीद करता हूँ कि एक तरफ जब जवाबदेही हमें मिली इस बार की, तो अब सुधार पर काम करने की ज़रूरत है। केवल एक इस्तीफा से, रेजिग्नेशन से राष्ट्र नहीं बनता है। तो शिक्षा में सुधार हो, इस पर भी आगे काम हो। मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है जिस उदारता से सरकार ने ये कदम ली है, वो इसमें अब सुधार के कार्यों में भी जुड़ेगी। सुधार सिर्फ शिक्षा में नहीं बल्कि शासन में भी मेरी उम्मीद है कि अब से देश चलाने का तरीका ज़रा बदलेगा। जहाँ भय है वो नहीं बल्कि प्यार मोहब्बत से देश को चलाया जाएगा, और अन्याय न होकर सत्य के रास्ते पे चलाया जाएगा। और वैसे ही जहाँ कहीं भी जिस रूप में भी भ्रष्टाचार है उसे हटाया जाएगा, और सच्चाई के रास्ते पे एक भारत देश के लिए और विदेशों के लिए भी एक उदाहरण बनेगा, सच में विश्व गुरु बनेगा। ऐसी मेरी आशा है कि ये एक नया भारत की शुरुआत होगी। मैं उम्मीद करता हूं सरकार से कि इस बदलाव के साथ ही बहुत से और बदलाव भी लाएंगे शासन चलाने के तरीकों में भी। अब क्योंकि मैं लद्दाख से हूं और एक पर्यावरण कर्मी हूं, एनवायरमेंटलिस्ट हूं, तो मैं उम्मीद करूंगा सरकार के से कि जो लद्दाख के पहाड़ों को संरक्षित करने की, वहां के लोगों को लोकतंत्र देने की प्रक्रिया चली है, उसे भी बिल्कुल ईमानदारी से चलाया जाए। उसे कमज़ोर करने की कुछ कोशिशें हो रही हैं, वो सब छोड़कर जनता के साथ प्यार मोहब्बत से मिलकर हम सीमाओं को सुदृढ़ और शांत बनाएं, विकास के रास्ते पे लें। तो लद्दाख में बहुत ही ईमानदारी से लोगों के साथ ये प्रक्रिया जारी हो। बल्कि हमारे पड़ोसी राज्य जम्मू कश्मीर में भी, जहाँ भी लद्दाख में हो, जम्मू कश्मीर में हो, जो लोगों से वादे किए हैं स्टेटहुड के, लोकतंत्र की, वो वहाँ भी बहाल हो, ये हमारी उम्मीद है। ये तो मैं अपने हिसाब से कह रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैं उस इलाके से आता हूँ। तो बाकी देश में शिक्षा में खासकर सुधार हो, बदलाव हो। किसी भी बच्चे को, किसी भी अभिभावक को जो इन बच्चों को गुजरना पड़ा, उसमें न गुजरना पड़े। मैं आभारी हूँ पूरे देश का और युवा पीढ़ी का और सरकार का भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Sonam Wangchuk, the man who was leading the hunger protest, the fast unto death for the last 26 days, he's called it off. And now he has congratulated the protesting students. He's also congratulated the government for meeting their demands. And now the CJP has officially withdrawn its protest and asked its supporters and the protesting students to go back home. I want to get a quick word in from Sabya, who's joining us from outside Rahul Gandhi's residence. In about 15 minutes, I believe Mr. Gandhi will be giving a short bite to the media. Of course, politically, he can also claim credit because at the end of the day, even before Sonam Wangchuk sat down for the fast, or even before the CJP was formed, it was Rahul Gandhi who brought to the fore student issues and NEET paper leak issues in the first place.
Definitely. The leader of opposition, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and the entire opposition have been claiming victory. And the Congress party, from the very beginning, they had launched a campaign against the paper leak in 28 states across the country. And the opposition, specifically Rahul Gandhi, was of the view that since the students are protesting on ground, they are on Jantar Mantar, and that is a very reason why it is important that all the opposition parties and their leaders must be on the street. And that is the reason why we saw that leader of opposition himself protesting outside the residence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, or protesting outside Gandhi Smriti, and today also at 6 p.m. he will be holding a press conference. Now, going on Monday, the centre will be bringing the amendments on the bill, and the opposition doesn't have anything to hold back. They have to participate. But Rahul Gandhi earlier had released his set of own demands, where he has demanded that Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself has to apologize to the students and to the country. And the opposition also demanded the resignation of Union Home Minister Amit Shah as well. The opposition is saying that the lathi charge that was used against the student and the youth was on the orders of Home Minister. So clearly on Monday also we are expecting ruckus as far as the oppositions are concerned.
Sabir, we'll come back to you as and when that press conference begins. We'll also go to our guests in a moment, but I want to take a quick break as we await Rahul Gandhi's press conference. The CJP and the ministers had a joint press conference where the CJP has finally withdrawn its protest, asked its supporters to go back home. There are three demands: resignation of Mr. Pradhan, compensation of 1 crore to the NEET victims, and the removal of all FIRs filed against the students, and the CJP organizers need to be withdrawn. All three, they say, have been met by the government, and therefore they are withdrawing their protest. Quick break, but news and updates continue right here on Times Now. Times Now is your breaking news destination. We were the first channel to break the news of Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation.